Hey guys, I'm Annabelle Ingleton. Welcome to this episode of the Trauma to Triumph podcast. Today we're talking about feeling like you're not enough, why this happens, what creates it, what triggers it, how to heal it, how to stop feeling not enough and start feeling like you are worthy and super valuable. I hope this episode is super helpful and I hope you enjoy it. Hi, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Trauma to Triumph podcast. I'm Annabelle Ingleton, and I'm your host. This is episode number 70. I think it's 73 or 72. We might have to block that out. And this week, I'm going to talk with you guys about something that's been on my mind a lot because I've had to discuss this a lot with women that have been sending me DMs on Instagram or messages or commenting on posts of mine on Instagram, or even here in the podcast about my new group coaching program called Bloom. It launches in August 2022. If you're listening to this in the future, I'm sure it's still happening. But if you're listening to it in the present moment, it's launching in a little bit over a month. It's already halfway full with people that bought early bird membership, or not memberships. I got access to early bird access that with people that got early bird access and they joined very early on with response to my wait list. If you're not on the wait list, go to annabelleingleton.com/waitlist and you can join there. I don't like calling it a wait list. I think it's because I'm saying, here's a list for you to just sit there and wait. I think it's not as effective, or just doesn't sound very nice. I like the idea of calling it an interest list. You're interested in knowing me more, maybe working with me in some capacity, or just learning about what I can do to help you. And so I'm all about that. So what I think is really, so because of that, anyway, go to the interest list, sign up, and you will get access to be able to join the program if this feels like a good fit for you. But what I want to talk about today is this question that a lot of women are talking to me about, this desire or this need that they have, and they're hoping that I can help them with. I've worked with people in my one-on-one group coaching program, Trauma to Triumph, where I help people heal their brain and body from the effects of stressful past experiences. When we've experienced past situations, disconnections, ruptures in relationships, some big, really just painful experiences, like some kind of mild trauma or abandonment, made bad decisions on our own, things like that. It changes the effects and the ability for the brain to work correctly. If you're listening to the podcast and you're an avid listener, you know that the past couple episodes have been really specific about the brain. And I've been talking about the brain so that you guys can understand that the brain is what creates your emotions. The brain is what tells your body what to do. People think it's the opposite. And they do definitely work together. They work collectively to inform each other. But the brain is what is able to either soothe your emotions so that you can feel okay and safe, or it's what tells you to fight and flight or run away, or that everything is okay, or that someone is a threat, or just anything like that. But it's the brain that tells you whether you need to get scared or anxious or stressed or worried or fearful or happy or sad or depressed or anxious or whatever. And then it tells you to take an action after that. Okay. So past stressful experiences, here's how the brain works. It makes mental models and predictions and inferences and concepts about life, about people, about money, about relationships, about yourself. And it says this is safe or this is not safe. And based on that, whenever you have an experience with any of these things of life that involve life, right? Relationships, work, money, you're alone with yourself, you have a disconnection with someone, you have a relationship, you meet someone, everything, your brain will tell you whether this is good or bad. And it determines whether something is good or bad based on the experiences it's had before. And if it thinks something's good, it's going to say, okay, let's move towards it and let's have fun and let's do more of this. If it thinks something is bad, it's going to say, oh no, let's get scared. Let's protect ourselves. And the brain thus tells you what emotions to have around it. Oh, this is going to feel safe. Oh, this is going to be fearful. So you can see how the brain is shaped by your experiences, and your brain now tells you how to have experiences in the present moment. And it tells you if something is good or something's bad, if something's happy or something's sad. It tells you if you need to go into protection mode or if you could just exist and trust the thing. So now it basically teaches you how to have a relationship with life. And life involves a bazillion circumstances and people and relationships and things. So if that's the case, and you are having an experience in life with men, with your money, with your body, with yourself, with your job, with your partner, it is because if you're having a negative experience, if you're feeling bad emotions, then it's because your brain has learned that this thing is bad and let's protect ourselves. If you're having a good time with these things, it's because it has deemed this thing to still be safe and good and happy. And there's a lot of good things that come from it. Okay. But what the brain deems as good or bad and what kind of emotions to have with it, now it creates your behavior and tells you what to do based on these emotions and these thoughts and these mental models and concepts and predictions. For example, if I meet a man that's tall, dark, and handsome, and with salt and pepper gray hair, and is very charismatic, because my dad was tall, dark, and handsome, salt and pepper hair, and very charismatic, if I was hurt by my father, abused by my father, if I was abandoned by my father, if I didn't feel safe with my father, if he shamed me, if he made me feel not loved or not enough or invaluable, or that's what my brain has now believes about myself because of my relationship with my dad. When I meet men that are very similar to my father, my brain is going to make a very quick prediction and say, and this is going to be all subconscious under conscious awareness. And it's going to say, you're not going to consciously know this, but you may have this fear around I may have a fear around tall, dark, and handsome men. I may have a doubtful spirit about tall, dark, and handsome men. I may want to find things wrong with tall, dark, and handsome man that I'm now interacting with because of the mental model that my brain has subconsciously made, or my subconscious mind has now, like the program and the belief that it has about tall, dark, handsome men that are salt and pepper hair, and very charismatic. And I won't know this. It'll be under conscious awareness, but I'm going to treat this man differently. Let's say he's someone who's very interested in dating me, and we could have like a really good time together, but because my brain has created this mental model based on my past about tall, dark, handsome men with salt and pepper hair and charisma. Because of my experience in my past, I'm now going to subconsciously treat this man in a way that I'm going to be maybe closed off to him because I'm protecting myself because of my past experiences. And so this may sound a little weird, but when we go into a very protective state because we have fear around someone, it automatically triggers another person that's around you to go into a protective state subconsciously. It's not, you don't catch it. This is all under conscious awareness. I'm in protection. He goes into protection. Now we're both not open and receptive and just willing to get to know each other. We're in reaction to each other. We're in protection. We are holding each other at arm's length. We're keeping each other at arm's length. And we're kind of just being a little hyper vigilant, maybe low key, but hyper vigilant nonetheless. And you can see how doing this with someone who could be a really great potential match for you, because let's say you guys are really, really aligned, but because of your past inferences that your brain has made, now this particular person feels, operative word there, feels off. And now because they feel off, your brain's going to go into protection mode and start telling you things that to protect you. And the thing that's sneaky, or like not even sneaky, it thinks your brain thinks it's doing you a service. It thinks it's helping you by saying, look at him. What is he doing? Is that wrong? Is that weird? We're going to start dissecting a person deeper than we probably would if it was just someone that didn't activate this deep subconscious mental model. Yeah. And so you can see how, and I hope some of you guys this is resonating with you. I hope you can see how maybe you've had an experience similar to this, maybe not about tall, dark, handsome, gray, salt pepper haired, charismatic men, but maybe in another way. Maybe you can think of someone in your childhood that you were hurt by, or maybe a past relationship that you were hurt by, that now your brain is making misconceptions or protective thoughts that because they're trying to keep you safe. What's the problem? You might be thinking, well, what about what's the problem? If this is somebody I do need to protect myself from, is there a problem with that? And here's what I'd like to offer. It's an issue for you if this is a really great person and you're judging this person, you're making these deep inferences, again, not conscious, about this person when they may be perfectly harmless and really great for you. But because your brain has gone into self-protection, that doesn't happen. Like, you don't just open up and you're not in receptivity. You don't trust naturally. And listen, I'm not saying that we need to trust everybody inherently and just be completely open. It is great. And it is important to look at people through a somewhat, not completely open and just trust people empirically, but to just give people the benefit of the doubt until like they prove otherwise. All right. And so this happens for most of my clients. This is where we end up choosing the wrong people for the wrong reasons. We end up believing certain things about people for the wrong reasons. We end up making choices about life for the wrong reasons. And when I say the wrong reasons, it's fear, it's protection, it's control, it's self-preservation. And when we do things like this, it creates a vicious cycle in your life where if you're in protection mode, it makes other people get protective. Now we're never our best authentic selves and just open with each other. We're always like, because you give off this sense of avoidance or judgment to him, let's say the man, now he's going to be that way with you. And because he's that way with you, because he senses it from you, now you're going to be like, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now you say, see, brain, see guys, see girlfriends, he's a dick. He's acting like a dick, but he's only acting like a dick. And this is very circumstantial, right? This isn't the case for everybody. He may only be doing this because of the energy that you give off because of your mental models from your past. The brain is so beautiful and so helpful, but here, the brain isn't made to make you happy. The brain isn't there to make you successful or rich. The brain is an organ that's there to keep you connected with people and to keep you alive. That's it. Its only job. Keep you alive, pumping your heart and your lungs and moving the blood through your body and helping you breathe and just digest your food and making sure your nervous system works. And it's there so it's keeping you alive there. And then it's keeping you alive in the world by scanning everything for safety and threat. But you can see how what the brain determines as safety or threat is based on your past, and it can fuck some shit up. And it's helpful in that way, but it affects us, and it can really create issues in our lives when we think that money is bad, when the brain thinks that you don't deserve money, when your brain tells you that you're ugly and not smart and not worthy, or that people are going to hurt you, or men are people that you should always protect yourself from, or hold on, I need to check my microphone because it sounds like the volume. Why is the volume doing this? This is so weird. My microphone is acting a little weird. Hold on one second. Okay, but I digress. So And I'm sorry, guys, my mic, I need to get a new microphone. I just ordered one, and because this one's acting so fucking suspect. And so excuse the audio stuff. We'll just cut this out. And you can see how the brain is not there to make you have a six pack or make a lot of money or have a successful marriage or build a business or be successful. It's there to keep you alive and keep you connected with people that help you stay alive better and easier with less effort and use your resources of time and energy. And so this is where problems happen with people. And let's talk specifically now about the questions that I've been getting from women that are interested in working with me, and the type of women that I'm hoping are going to join the group, because this is what the program is for, specific women like this. And one of the main things that I want to work with women with, or help women with, is to build their self-love, their self-concept, to feel safe in this world, to feel and know that they're valuable, that they're worthy, that they're beautiful, that they're smart, that they can do anything they want. I want to help people stop playing small and hiding and believing that that it's bad to get rejected, or that it's unsafe to show their face on social media, that they know that it's safe enough and you're worthy enough to make $1 bazillion a year or stay at home with your babies if you want, that basically that you can have exactly the life you want and you can feel better in this world if you remove the blocks that are keeping you from believing that. And that's the work we're doing in Bloom, is removing the blocks to create that. And some of the issues that a lot of the women that are coming to work with me have told me that they have is they're giving too much. They're doing too much for others. They're putting themselves on the back burner. They're not, living the job they want. They're settling for less. They're settling for the basic minimum. They don't express themselves. They're scared to speak up for themselves. They're scared to show up, like even just like in at work, or they're with their friends or on social media, or show pictures of themselves, or, in any way in relationships. They're choosing the wrong partners. They're settling for really unhealthy partners. They don't like expressing their needs or when they're upset, or their desires or their issues with people, because they're worried about what will happen. And so they're just settling. They're playing small. They're not stepping into their power and just doing exactly what they want. And some people even say that they don't even know what they want. And I don't know about you guys, but this is a fucking problem. If like, you should feel safe. And when I say problem, I mean, you should feel safe to be in a world that and have everything you want. And what's sad is so much of our past experiences have taught you or taught us that you don't deserve to have what you want, that what you want is bad, that what you want will hurt you, that what you want will hurt others, that what you want will leave you and get you left alone and abandoned, that what you want is you don't deserve it, that you're not smart enough, that you're not worthy enough, that you're not valuable. And these are the complaints that most people tell me that they're feeling. They don't know, they doubt themselves, they don't speak up, they don't know how to connect well. They are always feeling anxious and worried and stressed because of this. And they hate their life and they feel bad that they don't like their life. And then they're feeling guilty about not liking their life and wanting to change. And they're in relationships that they want to leave and don't know how. They don't trust themselves to maybe get divorced. I get that question probably the most. When do I know that I should get a divorce? How do I tell my partner? How do I know? And like, they're not even trusting that they know themselves, that they don't trust that when they get the feeling that they want to get a divorce, that they should say, oh, then it's a good idea. If I feel this way, then I trust myself to do this. And then they can't take the action based on a thought and belief that they have for themselves. So they're not protecting themselves well. They're putting themselves in really risky situations. And the way that so that's the way life is showing up. That's the way life looks for them. This is how they're experiencing life. And it's feeling really unsafe for them. They don't like the friends they have and their bodies, and they're not doing things for themselves. And I want to explain how specifically, let's talk about like love and relationships, maybe specific romantic relationships. We tend to, women who are very anxious and don't feel like, they don't feel valuable, and the women that are settling and doing too much for other people and not doing for themselves, what this creates, or what is creating this, is a deep subconscious belief that you are not enough. When you think you are not enough, you will settle for the basic minimum. You will think that you don't have value. You will think that you need to do things to be enough. You will think that you need to do for others in order to prove that you are enough. You will think that value comes from outside external validation. And when we get certain things, then we're valuable. When we do certain things, then we're valuable. That is the biggest fucking lie. And I'm here to tell you that if you believe this, I am so sorry that you believe this about yourself. And I love you, and you are perfect. You are valuable. You are enough. You are not too much. And you deserve to have everything your heart desires. And that belief is that deep belief is what's keeping you from having the life that you want. Because if you believe that you are enough and that you are valuable and you're worthy, your life would reflect that. So we need to work on what heals and what helps you get the life you want, is to heal that wound that believes that you're not enough. We have to heal that part of you that believes that. So we have to go back and basically find the experiences that created the belief that you're not enough. And we do the work. That's what we're doing in Bloom. Okay. So that feeling that makes you feel like you're not enough, typically you may be thinking, say, so what created it? It can be a million different things. Every single person in the world is different. So I can't speak for you specifically, but there may be one event that created that belief for you, or 10, I don't know. You have to kind of answer that for yourself. But the fact is, something did make you believe that you're not enough. And now, because you don't think you're enough, typically, I don't think we walk around life always thinking that we're not enough. Most of us, there's parts of us that feel that we are enough, but at a deeper level, we believe that we're not. And that's that part of us, that's what's driving all the settling, the doing for other people, the choosing bad relationships, not speaking up, playing very small. That's what creates all that maladaptive behavior. And what triggers it, what creates that, because like I said, most of the time you walk around and you're not thinking, I'm not enough. That just doesn't happen. When you have access to your higher selves at sometimes in the day or in your life, this, you do feel like enough. And then you have moments of feeling good. But there are things that will create and trigger and activate that part of you that thinks that you're not enough. And that's when you go into the maladaptive behavior. So if you get broken up with, if you get cheated on, let's say you get fired, these things can be like, oh my God, I got fired because I'm not a good enough worker. I'm not smart enough, or I'm not worthy to have this job or get paid, or I'm not, there's some story that may pop up in your mind, right? You get broken up with and your partner says, it's not you, it's me. But then at a deeper core, that it'll wake up that part of you. And then you may believe that, see, he broke up with me because I'm not beautiful enough, or smart enough, or skinny enough, or make enough money, or hot enough, or sexy enough, whatever. So there's things in life that wake up and activate that part of you. And then when we get triggered, we start doing things to make us feel enough. And this is the stuff that gets us in trouble, is when we don't feel like enough. Remember, the feeling of not feeling, the emotion of not feeling enough will make your brain now goes into protection mode and says, I need to help Annabelle not feel, because she feels like she's not enough right now. So the psyche has created these things called protective parts. And the protective part will either tell you to numb and let's avoid this and just numb this part out. And we don't want to feel not enough. So let's go do drugs or sex or shop or do something to just avoid it. Or we go into the more chaotic, anxious part of our brain, the more what I call your manager part. And the part will make you believe that you need to do things in order to feel enough. This is when we go and people please and we do things for other people. We try to give them love, well, or what we deem as love, but it may be like an act of love. So like, I cook for you so you can tell me and praise me and say that I'm a great cook. And then I'm like, oh, good. Now I feel enough. Now I feel loved. Now I feel worthy. And this may not be something that you even like to do, but you're doing it because you don't have the ability to believe that for yourself. So you're looking for it externally. But the problem with doing all this maladaptive behavior, guys, is we are seeking for it externally, and we don't have the capacity to do it yourself because the brain doesn't have access to that what's called integration, and it doesn't have the ability to use the neocortex, your brain's information and facts, and say we are enough, we're good. Instead, we're like, okay, how do we find it? So we don't find it internally in our soul, in our brain, in our mind. So we go look outside, and so we believe we have to do in order to feel enough. So there's lots of ways of doing. People do so many things to connect with other people in order to make them feel enough. They make money. They try to get famous. They try to be successful. They try to have babies. They try to have a beautiful body so they can be looked after and lusted after so they can feel beautiful and sexy. They have sex. We have sex with men in order to make us feel wanted and connected. We confuse physical intimacy with deep, real love intimacy. So we'll sleep with guys. We do too much for other people. We try to buy all these fancy things so people can have this idea that we're perfect and beautiful and smart and successful. And there's so many things. And I call this doing energy instead of just being. When you're just being, it's because you just lay and believe the deep knowing. You're connected to your higher self, and you just know that you are enough, and you don't believe that you have to do anything to prove it. You just are. You inherently are. This is the place where y'all want to get to, and this is where I'm helping my clients get to with the program Bloom. But most of us, before we do work like this, or therapy, or coaching, or some kind of deep work, we're doing. And I call it like we're pressing on the gas. We're always moving forward and doing things for others. So we're overworking, we're making a lot of money. We're doing things for other people. And what this does to us is it makes us fucking tired, because we're always doing, we have to have a clean house. We have to clean, and we have to take care of everybody, and we have to make a lot of money. We have to work a lot. This shows up in women. I see this with a lot of my entrepreneur female clients, that they feel like they overdo and over provide value for their clients, instead of just saying, this is what's going to help my clients. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do A, B, and C. And that's going to get them the result. And then I have clients who don't think that they're enough, that they're not good enough coaches, or good enough entrepreneurs, or good enough, whatever, service providers. And they offer A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P in order to feel like enough. And they're overworking, over hustling, pressing on the gas a lot to connect with these people, so that they can find value, so that people can think that they're good enough and be like, oh, Annabelle gave me a lot, or Fulana gave me a lot as a coach. Now then I'll hire her. Now I'll give her money. Now she's valuable. And this causes stress, fatigue, resentment, no resting, no space, no freedom. You're just always in this doing energy. And women, we can't do it all, guys. Like, I know the world says that we can do it all. And what I mean we can't do it all is we just we can't do everything for everybody. When we have kids, we do for our children, and we raise them and feed them and things like that. But even at a certain point, your children get old enough to where they're making their own beds, and they may even do laundry at a certain age, or cook their own meals at a certain place, because they build their own internal resources and their own brain, that they're able to help themselves more, and you do less. But there's some parents that have fucking 25-year-old kids that you're on your kids' asses, and you're doing everything. They're like on the tit still. And you're doing way too much, and you're fucking tired. And this creates this inner resentment with ourselves, like beating ourselves up because we're doing too much. And then it also creates this inner critic, or the self-critic, that doesn't ever let you stop doing, because it thinks that now you're lazy for not doing. Now you're a piece of shit because you're not doing. Oh, you're resting. That's so bad. You need to be doing. because the brain wants you to keep doing, because it wants you to feel enough, because when you're not doing, you don't feel like enough. And you can see, guys, how this is a big fucking problem, because now you're always that person that always has to make money, that always has to make a lot of money, that always has to have nice shit, that always has to have a perfect body, that always has to be super successful, and always has to be doing for your husband and your kids and other people. And we're in this doing energy. And the work that we're going to be doing in Bloom is to remove all the blocks and the beliefs that have you thinking that you are not enough, so that you can go back into being and just existing and knowing and believing, deeply believing and knowing that you are enough. Because when you believe you're enough, guys, you aren't doing for everybody. You just know that if you're alive and breathing and going to your job and providing value and being there for your children, and inherently because you want to, not out of manipulation, like I'm going to do this for you so you can love me and I can feel good enough. When you're just being yourself because you know that you're smart enough, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're valuable, life looks really, really different, and it starts to feel really different. You're doing less. You are loving yourself more. You're connected to yourself more. You are resting more. The self-care level goes up. Your ability to feel safe with others and trust the world goes up, because you trust yourself a lot, because you're connected to yourself at a really deep level, that because you know that you're always going to be there for yourself and you're never going to let anything bad happen to you, because you're always going to pick the best people to be around. You're not going to be settling. Because you trust yourself, you then are able to have empathy and really deep connections with people, and you choose better partners. Because when you think that you're worthy, you believe that you're worthy of having a great partner, just like the partner that you are. If you think you're a shitty person, you're going to pick shitty people subconsciously, guys. Because you're thinking that you're not enough and that you're a bad person, or maybe you lied one time in your fucking life and now you believe you're a liar and a bad person, or made a mistake back in 1997. And now you're always using that as proof that you're a dick and that you don't deserve a great guy. So I'm just going to settle for this fat, horrible, abusive, nasty, treats me like shit, hits me, lazy. You take care of him. You're doing everything, and you attract and settle for assholes. Or you're attracting these really feminine men because you're in that doing energy of like controlling and trying to manage everything, because this is another sign of this deep inadequacy, or feeling like you're not enough. You don't trust other people, and so you feel like you no one can do it better than you, so you're always overdoing and you're controlling. Or you don't trust people, so you're always trying to control them to make you feel better. And you can see how it plays out in just every part of your life. This is the biggest problem that I see women have. And we want to get to a place where you believe deeply at your core that you are enough, and you will see how your life transforms. This is what creates a lot of that anxious behavior, that what people call anxious attachment. It's such a misnomer, guys. I read this on Jillian Turecki's Instagram the other day, and I was so glad she wrote this, because she wrote it in a way that I haven't been able to express it as well as she did. And she explained it well. She's like, you guys, attachment theory, you don't have anxious attachment. Attachment theory is a theory, and it's there to kind of tell you, like, people who've experienced this tend to act like this. And people will say, I'm anxious, I'm disorganized, I'm this. And I know I've even used that to describe myself, but it's really a misnomer. What it is, what we should be talking about is how is life making you feel, and how are you behaving? Because I have moments where I'm very avoidant. I have moments where I'm really disorganized. I have moments where I'm super anxious. It depends on the area of my life. And I can manage it a lot better now when I get activated, but we never stop getting activated. It's just not as intense or as often, and it doesn't last as long. Like mine are I catch them so much quicker now, and I'm able to like soothe myself and say, oh, Annabelle, don't worry. We don't need to get very anxious and go and do. But sometimes I fall into it, and then it's the next day I catch myself and I'm like, Why did I text him? Why did I see him or whatever? Right. Because I was feeling lonely and maybe I wanted to connect, and then I did it. And I was like, so not present enough to see what I was doing. And then the next day when I started feeling like shit, I recognized it and I'm like, great, fell into it. There's nothing has gone wrong. I don't beat myself up. I'm just like, okay, so that means I'm that wound is still very much there and I need to love on myself a lot more, and let's work on this. Right. And one of the biggest things that we have to do, guys, when people, for us that have that tendency to be very anxious and doing and always pressing on the gas to connect with other people in order to feel better, is boundaries. And more specifically, guys, we're talking personal boundaries. We have to know that this is what we're doing. We're creating very anxious tendencies, maladaptive behaviors, like people pleasing, doing a lot for others, settling for the basic shit minimum of a relationship, of a person or a job or money, or we're not taking care of our bodies. We're settling for fast food and not moving our bodies and exercising and giving to ourselves in the healthiest ways. And we could check that and say, oh, these are tendencies of people of someone who doesn't think they're enough. So right now I'm in my not enoughness. Okay. So so why am I feeling not enough right now? What's going on that's making me not feel enough? And then we have to do the parts work and all the things that I'm going to be teaching you in Bloom in order to manage that, and then get out of it and start going back into your truth of you are enough, you are beautiful and perfect. You don't have to be doing. You deserve a break. You deserve to rest. And then we catch it. But I wanted to really go into this and explain all this with you guys, because I think when we talk, you're hearing a lot in the industry. You have anxious attachment. You are self-sabotaging. You're in self-betrayal. You're in self-protection. You're in all these things. And we've given all these behaviors such like shaming fucking titles and names that now that you know what you're doing, now you're feeling shitty about it because of the fucked up names that this industry has placed on it. And listen, guys, I used to say this. I used to use these fucking titles, and I'm not doing that anymore. This is why I'm going so scientific with you guys, because I want you guys to understand that what's the mechanism of what's actually happening in your brain and your body. So we're using real scientific language, and I'm not giving you all these. I'm not telling you you're in fucking self-betrayal. You're betraying yourself. You're a self-abandoning. You have anxious attachment. No. Your brain now has taught you to do things in a certain way because of something that happened to you in the past, because you have this deep belief that you're not enough, but you're perfect. So let's get your brain learning again and that you are enough. And the way the brain learns this, guys, is with new experiences. Experiences made it believe that you weren't enough. You need new experiences to teach you that you are enough. They're called disconfirming experiences. And I'll go way more into this in Bloom. And if you want to work with me, please get on the wait list or the interest list. I'm going to start calling it interest list. So that we can work together. Okay. And this is what I'm going to teach you how to do the things that create new experiences that make you believe new things. The belief that we want is to believe that you're enough. The belief that you want is to know that you're worthy. The beliefs that you want is to know that you're smart and beautiful and valuable and highly treasured and you can have anything you want. Those are the beliefs that we need to be having. Those are the programming that we want in our subconscious and in our brain. Those are the inferences and mental models that we want our brain to use instead of these old fucked up ones that are creating lots of painful emotions in your body and lots of painful experiences with people and disconnections with people and putting you in risky situations and unhealthy situations where you're not taking care of your body, you're not resting, you're overworking, and you're overdoing. These are all trauma responses. I don't even like using trauma responses too much anymore, but I will say that these are maladaptive behaviors. Maladaptive behaviors, guys, are behaviors that kept you safe at one point And when you were like 5, when you didn't feel worthy, and so you had to be there with your parents and love them a little bit, and then that's what helped them love you back. And now you believed, oh my God, if I do more, I feel love. And now you're always doing for people. This is what people with anxious tendencies, people that feel anxious and feel alone or feel not enough, is what it creates in you. So if you're ready to stop feeling this way, Bloom, it really is for you. We are going deep and understanding where you are now, understanding all the things that you're feeling, all the experiences you're having. And listen, you're going to get a little naked, right? You're going to have to kind of get really honest with yourself. And it's not going to feel very beautiful and comfortable, but you just need to get a little uncomfortable so you can get clear. So I can get clear with you, and I can know where you're at, and you can know where you're at, because you need to know where you're starting from, ladies, to get to the end destination. If you want to go to Paris and you're in LA, we need to know you're in LA so the GPS can create your route to get you to fucking Paris. And I don't know about you, but I want to go to fucking Paris. I've been seeing so many people on vacation right now. Morgan Stewart is this woman that I follow. She's fucking like my spirit animal. I want to be just like her in so many ways. Well, not even that. She lives out loud, I think very similar to the way I live, but she has a lot of like the successes that I want. She has like a YouTube channel show, and that's one of my goals. And I will create that next year for sure. But she lives very out loud, and I just love it. Anyway, she's in Paris right now on vacation with her husband and a couple friends, and she's on a yacht, and she's like on the Amalfi Coast probably. And why did I bring up Morgan Stewart? I forgot why I brought her up. She just lives out loud and unapologetically. And this is how I want you guys to experience this. I want you guys to feel really unapologetic about who you are, because you know your value. And I was saying get naked. We're going to get a little naked, right? You have to be really clear about going. That's why Paris. I was thinking about Paris because of Morgan. So we got to get clear of where you're at. So the work in Bloom is, one, we're going to understand exactly where you're at and all the things that are bothering you about your life, all the feelings that you're having that don't feel good, so that you can. So we get the GPS, and I know how to get you to Paris. Okay. Because I think everybody in this program is going to be somewhere in LA, some vicinity of LA. You guys all have the same issues typically. And we're going to Paris together, right? So we're trying to bloom there, and we're going to get clear on where you're at. You're going to learn a little bit of this, the deep mechanism, neuroscience kind of stuff that I'm going to teach you, so you understand yourself a little bit more. You understand what's causing it. And then I'm going to teach you the things that are going to help you undo all this stuff. And that is, we're going to be removing all those blocks. And there's a process I'm going to take you through to first find the beliefs and the blocks, and then how to remove them. And we're going to do this in a group container. We're going to meet every week, and it's going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait to see you guys in there. But I hope this brought a little bit of awareness for you, for your own internal system, so you can see and maybe you got to know yourself a little bit better. If this is hitting home, guys, can you like share this episode on Instagram and share it with somebody, maybe even somebody that you think is maybe going through the similar thing that you're going through, and let them know, like, oh my gosh, like I think this might be a good program for you. I've been saying I'm going to cap it at 25 people, guys, but I think it may go a little over. I'm going to be honest with you, because I have such a big interest and it's already halfway full, and it might be the first cohort might be a little bigger than we thought, but we'll see how it goes. But for the most part, get on that list, guys, so we can work together. It's going to be the place to fucking be. So you can just remove all this stuff, remove the real things that are actually going to create the life that you want. It's not about strategy. It's not about bags and the perfect body or the fucking perfect house or the perfect husband or the perfect wife or the perfect kids. It's so much more than that. What we're working on creating full integration. That's what creates the confidence, the knowing, the connection to your intuition, the safety, the knowing that you're valuable. You're going to be in full on self-leadership. You're going to be in full connection to your higher self. it's just going to be, it's going to be some beautiful, you're going to feel unlimited. You're going to feel so resourceful. You're going to always know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, you're going to feel capable of finding the answers. Like, you're not going to be settling for shit. You're going to know your value. You're going to know your worth, and you're going to be able to do the job that you want, make the money that you want, leave the career that you fucking have been hating, and start the business that you want, and marry the person that you want, and have the babies that you want, and be in such great health. This is where we want to be, guys. You guys are young, beautiful women that deserve to have and feel the feelings that I feel a lot of the time in my life, a majority of the time in my life, and create the successes that I've had. And it's only that my life looks the way it looks only because of it matches my internal states. And I hope this was helpful. I hope it taught you a little bit about yourself. Please share this with someone that you think it may be helpful for. This helps me in so many ways. But if you share the episode or you rate it on iTunes or Spotify or whatever, give it 5 stars or as many stars as you think it deserves. But share it on Instagram and tell me what you DM me if you will. Send me a message and say, Annabelle, I listened to this podcast episode. I learned this about myself and it was helpful or it wasn't helpful. I just want to know all the things. I want to be there. I want to celebrate you and cheer you on. Nothing makes me happier to know that I'm offering content that really helps you learn about yourself and helps you do the things that actually make a difference in your mental and emotional well-being that will help you make the life and create the life that you really want. And that's what we're here for. And that's my purpose in my work. And that's what Bloom is all about. So this was not supposed to be this long of an episode, but it's okay. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you, beautiful ladies, next week. Hey guys, thanks for listening. I hope this podcast episode was really helpful, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be bringing you a lot more episodes here, and I hope it was helpful. Join the waitlist for Bloom if you're interested in, join the interest, what did I call it? Join the interest list for Bloom if you're interested in working with me in my new group coaching program, Bloom, where I help women build their self-confidence, stop self-sabotage, stop procrastinating, build their self-love, deeper connection to their intuition, and create the life of their dreams. And they remove all the blocks to help them start feeling like enough. What else do I need to tell you? If this episode was helpful, please tell me and comment down below. If it wasn't, if there's anything that you'd like to offer, please tell me. I'm here for all the critiques. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.